Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our virtual Succot celebration. I am going to immediately turn it over to the founder of Breaking Matzo, Andy Goldfarb, who is accompanied by his two daughters, Lucy and Caroline. Over to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm the co-founder because my other daughters are the co-founders. Together, we're the co-founders of Breaking Matzo. So before we start, I just want to acknowledge that there is a lot of suffering in the world and everyone has their journey. I know that there are a lot of things going on. But for these 30 minutes, this is our Sukkot. This is our sanctuary. And so for these 30 minutes, we're going to celebrate the holiday. And I can't give you back your time, but it's my humble hope that one person learns one thing and has a little bit of fun. If that, there we go. So we're about to celebrate Sukkot. Caroline, Lucy, would you like to share a favorite memory or a reason that you like to celebrate Sukkot?
Yeah, I think growing up, I love celebrating Sukkot. You'll get to see hopefully later. One of my favorite memories is definitely our lulav dance, but I'll leave it at that so I don't spoil the surprise for later. What about you?
I loved when I was younger and we had Sukkot parties at my house. I would get to go on the ladder and stand on it and hang really fun, pretty decorations on the sukkah, and it was really fun. And I was kind of like the queen of the ladder a little bit, and that was a really fond memory.
And Lucy wrote a blog about that, sharing the ladder. So thank you for sharing.
What about you, Pop?
The reason I like to celebrate Sukkot, one word. So I like the tradition of Sukkot, and just for context, there are 3 pilgrimage, Shlosha Regalim, in the Torah. There is Passover, which is about leaving, and then there is Shavuot, about receiving, when the Torah, the 10 Commandments, and Sukkot is about rejoicing. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to rejoice outdoors, lots of air, and let's start off with food, because who's hungry? I'm hungry. Caroline?
Yeah, so I'm going to just show one of the recipes that we have on Breaking Matzo. We have a lot of different things you can make for the holidays, and so we decided to go with a cheese plate today, but it's not just any cheese plate, it's a special cheese plate that highlights the 7 species that are mentioned in the Torah. So I have them here, and I'll go through them, but obviously if you don't have all of these at home, you can do a couple of them or even just one, any cheese you have at home. But the species that we have that are mentioned are grapes. We have olives.
Yum.
We have some pomegranate seeds, and the pomegranate can be sometimes hard to do. So usually, this is a normal pomegranate. If you cut it in half, you can turn it over and basically use the back of a wooden spoon and hit it. All the seeds come out, and then you can enjoy it with the cheeses. We also have some dates, and here we just have whole dates, but we also have a really good recipe for a Moroccan haroset, which incorporates dates, and you can actually use that as kind of a spread. So that can also go on top of the crackers. So you could do plain dates or the full spread. We also have some figs, which are really special, mentioned a lot in the Torah, and are really good with cheese and crackers as well. And then we also have the other 2 species represented in our crackers, which are wheat and barley. So you totally don't have to use those crackers if you don't have them, but we happen to. And that way, all 7 things are represented here on our plate. Let's see. We also have a bunch of different cheeses that go with each kind of piece of the cheese plate. So I'll put them on our plate, and then we're going to enjoy this tonight. But again, if you don't have these, you can do a couple of them. There's a more common one, which is brie. So we're going to put that on our plate. We're also going to put some parm on our plate, some Parmesan, which is really good. We also have some cheddar cheese, which goes really well with the grapes. We have Gouda cheese. And again, we're doing 7 cheese types to go with the 7 species. We have blue cheese, which goes really well with the fig. So we definitely suggest putting that combination together. And last but not least, we also have some goat cheese, which is also really good with the pomegranates. So all of these go together. We also have some mozzarella, which I'll keep in this bowl, but is also delicious.
Wow.
And basically, you can put these together any way you want on your plate with your crackers. And it's a really enjoyable thing. And it's an easy recipe. And this was definitely a fun one for us. And we are excited because it was brought to us by the Wood family that suggested this amazing recipe and a way to really bring in a fun thing like a cheese plate, but make it special for Succot with all the 7 species.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really great celebratory, biblically based food.
Yeah.
Lucy?
Lucy's going to show us an arts and crafts project, so we'll move over a little bit.
Okay, yes. Hello, everyone. So my sister just did the snack, and I have the arts. So as you can see here, earlier, I made these all myself. I made apple candles. They're perfect for Succot because you can put them outside in your sukkah. And the fruit is like the fruit in the sukkah, and the candles illuminate the night sky that you're enjoying. So how you make it is you just grab some apples. I'm sure you have some at home. They're so popular. And then you get a scooper, and it can be a little hard, but if you're good at scooping, you scoop. You can eat this. I'll probably eat it. Then you just grab a tea candle and boom. You can adjust as you'd like. You have an apple candle. This one, this one I made earlier is a little better, so we can light it.
And like Lucy said, these are really nice because they're kind of like special for Succot, but also really nice because hopefully you're able to enjoy some of your meal outside. And we know it's getting dark earlier now that we're in the fall season, so this is pretty nice. So we're gonna make our apple candles.
Yeah. And you can even make an apple pie after the candles melt. So many exciting possibilities.
Perfect. Here, you can put that one down here.
Hooray.
Perfect. So those are our 2 fun things we wanted to share with you. There's a lot more on the website in terms of like other recipes you can do or other crafts, but these are easy ones that we wanted to bring to you guys today.
All right, so let's go down to the sukkah, and then we'll do a little more entertaining.
We're going to give Andy, Caroline, and Lucy a chance to walk down to the sukkah. And if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask during the discussion portion, they can certainly ask them. You can either unmute your microphone and talk with us directly or talk with Andy directly, or if you're a little more bashful, you can use the chat icon that's at the bottom and type a chat in, and I will see that, and then I can relay your question along to Andy, Caroline, and Lucy.
Yeah, so Kim, please let us know if anyone has any questions, but otherwise we can definitely come show you our sukkah.
Come on in. So come on in to our sukkah. Can everyone see? So we have some amazing food all on Breaking Matzah. And so we have our cookbook. Maybe, let me get Caroline, you talk about some of the food items we have here real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we have,
Maybe don't.
oh yeah. So we have a couple of different things. This is a recipe for dates, which is kind of like a dessert or a snack. And it's really nice. It has rose water, dates, and almonds. So again, it's kind of bringing in the dates for the holiday. We also have a special apple dessert. And these are really, really beautiful.
Can you guys see this? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Really beautiful. Okay, so we have we're not going to go through all the items, but we have our hummus, we have our brekas, and this is all in Breaking Matzah in our MMM cookbook that you can get online with all of our great recipes.
Magical, meaningful, and memorable.
So if we come in here, Lucy, just let me sit over here for a second. So we would normally do a ritual. We're going to celebrate the lulav and the etrog in the other sukkah. Believe it or not, we have another one. But what I will talk about is the meaning of the sukkah and the meaning of the lulav and the etrog. So the sukkah, there were actually 3 sukkahs in the Torah. A lot of people know about 1, maybe 2, but now we know 3. There's actually 3 sukkahs. There's the sukkah of slavery in Exodus 20 as they were leaving and they left from Succot. And then there's the sukkah of the wilderness where they had vulnerability and faith in God. They learned about manna and Shabbat while they were more vulnerable. And then there is the sukkah of abundance to celebrate the fall harvest festival. So that's why there's 3 sukkahs of slavery, wilderness, and then abundance. And then we have the lulav and the etrog. The lulav is a special combination of myrtle, lulav, palm, myrtle, and willow, and the etrog is a special lemon. The etrog stem should never be broken. It's called the patam. Actually, mine did break a couple years ago, and it turned into a beautiful lesson, which I'll explain in just a minute. So with the lulav, there is the palm, which is interpreted as anatomy. So in terms of the human body, the etrog is the heart. The palm is the spine. The myrtle are the eyes, and the willow are the lips, so that we should see, speak, and feel all about the Torah and all about goodness. Another interpretation is in regard to taste. So like the Torah, you should know the Torah and do good deeds. So the palm has great taste and no smell. And the myrtle has great smell but no taste. The willow has no taste and no smell, and the lulav has great taste and great smell. So the idea is, if you know the Torah but you don't do good deeds, that's not good. If you do good deeds and you don't know the Torah, that's not good. And if you don't know the Torah and you don't do good deeds, no taste, no smell, that's not good. You want to be like the etrog, to know goodness, the reasons why, and to do it. And the next thing I will say is, we say, blessed are thou, Lord God, Kings, universe, who brings a special first-time moment. This is our first Sukkot celebration with all of you together tonight, so that's an amazing celebration. Have a sense of adventure, mark the moment, and then express gratitude. So I'm very grateful to be able to celebrate with Lucy and Caroline. Normally we'd have a lot more people, but that's not the moment in history where we are now. I get it. The other thing I want to share is a blessing over the wine, and this is actually a peace wine because I've been thinking of the beauty of my travels to Jerusalem and Abu Dhabi and Bahrain, the beautiful peace agreement in the Middle East. It's one of the most beautiful things that's happened in a long, long time. So in that context, as we've evolved from Ishmael and Isaac being reunited, because we're brothers by different mothers, we say a blessing with our Jerusalem-based wine, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei Pri Hagafen, blessed art thou, Lord God, King of the universe, who brings us celebratory wine. And Hagafen is only for wine. Ha'adamah is from the ground. Ha'etz is from the air as you bless things. Hagafen only for wine. Blessed art thou, Lord God, King of the universe, who brings us from lowly suffering, spoiled grapes to celebratory soaring wine that's sanctifying celebratory occasion. And every moment of celebration, this is a celebration, there is suffering. But we will persevere and endure suffering in order to be celebrated. So the Chaim. And then the last thing I'll say in this context is I actually have the oldest etrog in the world. Can you believe it? And this has been in my family. I've had it for over 46 years. And believe it or not, 2 years ago, it broke. What broke? The patam. So I've carefully measured it here. This is the patam. You have this kept together intact. And for my whole life, I've kept this here. I'm not going to go into all the photos, but I have the photos of my first sukkah when I was 4 years old, my first sukkah as an adult and celebrating with Caroline and Lucy. And a couple years ago, my patam broke because I bring it into the sukkah. And innocently, a friend knocked it over as we were taking a photo. I was so upset, I wrote a blog about it, the beauty of being broken. And what I discovered is, it was broken, but not my heart. And so I learned from it to celebrate imperfection. And we break a glass for starting a wedding. The 10 commandments were broken, but not forgotten. So for me, it was really important to learn that I would be okay, even though for some people it's not a big deal. For me, it was so special. And in this environment, I think it's even more poignant because there is a lot of suffering and some things being broken. And to know that we will be okay when we have faith and family. And so I will put this away. And so this is a special possession that I have that I'm sharing with my family and I was happy to share with you tonight. And what I will say is you may have a ritual object to be able to,
Breaking Monster theme song.
that you'll be able, that's my phone, my brother. Hey, Alex. Anyway, you may have an object in your family that, we started off with tradition. Tradition is repetitive action with meaning. And I've celebrated Sukkot every single year of my life. And to be able to celebrate it with my children, they're older now to be together. Anyway, so that's that. So the last thing I'll say, well, we'll go on the other thing. So let's take a pause. Kim, are there any questions for the audience?
I don't see anyone. Again, you can unmute yourself and ask a question directly of Andy, or you can put it in the chat and I will happily relay that to you.
So one question, we had a discussion question, which was, this is the holiday of rejoicing. And in this sanctity, we're rejoicing tonight. That's not to say that everything is joyous everywhere, always, forever and always, but in our heart, you will have joyous moments. So if anyone wants to share something that they're celebrating or rejoicing tonight, for me to be with all of you, to be with my daughters, Caroline, Lucy, is there anything that you are rejoicing about as we celebrate Sukkot?
I'm definitely happy to be spending this holiday with you guys. I haven't been able to spend the exact night of our Sukkot celebration together after moving away for a while. And now moving back to Boston, being close to my family again, my dad and my sister, I'm like just so happy. And it's really nice to be able to spend this with you guys.
Yay.
So I'm really excited to do that tonight.
I personally am rejoicing in my recent free time. I'm used to leading a really busy life, but because of coronavirus and everything going on, I've found myself to have more free time. And I'm seeing a lot of beauty in that and trying to really enjoy it, especially in moments like this with my family and my dear friends.
Kim, are there any questions or comments that people wanted to share from out there?
None that I can see.
Andy, a little comment from your father. And I remember your first sukkah when you were 4 years old, and we built our own sukkahs here for many years at our house here in Allentown. And we would go out to Charlie Snelling's cornfields and cut the corn and build a sukkah. And we really appreciate. And I appreciate also you're showing the world's oldest etrog, which is from my grandparents, Nanny and Max in Baltimore.
Thank you.
And I am glad you're giving it a proper home, and we love you.
Love you too. Chag Sameach, Dad. Thank you for joining.
Chag Sameach.
Caroline, thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Do you want to
Max.
join?
Sure. So I think our last thing is we'll walk you guys over. We're gonna do some. We're gonna walk over this way. So if anyone wants to think about anything else that they're rejoicing for, I know Gramps shared that, which was really special to hear about. The etrog, that's so important to my dad. I know Lucy and I have talked about spending more time together with everything going on, learning to do some of our crafts that are really fun. And if anyone else has something to share, otherwise I think we have something to show you in our other sukkah.
It is so beautiful. Can I have this rug for my apartment?
So this is our other sukkah. There's pictures of it on Breaking Matzo. It's a little dark outside, but hopefully you can see that this one is more festive. We came from our more traditional sukkah. We just cannot get enough of Sukkot. And we have just two more things to share with you guys here. One of which is my favorite, the lulav dance. And then we also have
Maybe we need some more light in here.
Wait, hold on one second.
I think my dad's gonna go grab a light. Did
While
anyone
your
else
dad's
have anything
grabbing the
to
light,
share?
girls, I want to share with you that I'm thrilled to be able to be with you tonight. I'm sort of living vicariously through you since I can't be with my daughters. You are the substitute for me this evening. So I send you my love and to your dad as well.
Oh, thank you
so much.
I know it is definitely a harder holiday. We know that not everyone, we're not having our normal Sukkot this year, and not a lot of families don't get to be together. So we definitely feel extra lucky, and we're happy to be spending it with all of you guys too.
Yeah.
So here we go. We're now in here. There's 613 mitzvot in the Torah, 365 don'ts, 248 do's. There's 365 days of the week and 248 bones of the body. There are only two that require the body. Three, actually. One is going into a mikvah. Two is going to Eretz Yisrael, going to Israel. And the third is just coming into the sukkah with your whole body. It's a mitzvah, just like that.
Woo!
We just did a sukkah. And so we did a mitzvah. And so then the next thing that we do, and each of us will take turns, is we do the Sukkot dance. So there's divine spirit, however you want to formulate it in your own mind, heart, or soul, all around us in the way that we typically think. And I'm geographically dyslexic, so please don't follow my directions ever, except for the recipes. So we say God's all around. Say to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west, to the up, to the down, to the all around. Chag Sameach!
Lucy and I will do it together.
There's no way we can follow that.
I know, we're not as good, but we'll try.
All right, Dad, sing along.
To the north, to the south, to the east, to the west, to the up, to the down, to the all around. Chag Sameach!
Happy Sukkot, everyone. Chag Sameach. That is our family tradition. We hope you're able to do some of your own
Thank
tonight.
you for
So before we
watching
finish,
us.
so are there other comments or questions that people wanted to share?
Hi, Andy. Lori wanted you to, she's saying she wanted you to repeat the do's and the don'ts slowly.
The do's and the don'ts. Okay. There are 613 mitzvot in the Torah. There are 365 don'ts and 248 do's. There are 365 days of the week and 248 days in the year. Thank you.
Let's go.
And 248 bones in the body. Back in the day, they did more don'ts than do's because they kept repeating them over and over again. So that's the way it is. And of the 613, there are only 3 that require the whole body. 1 going into a mikvah, a ritual cleansing, which is also baptism. John the Baptist, John the mikvah man, some people call. But the idea of spiritually blessing yourself with immersion in water, the entire body. 1 mitzvot. A second mitzvot of the whole body is going to the land of Israel. As soon as you land and you step on the ground, that's a mitzvah. The third mitzvah that just requires the whole body is stepping into the sukkah. So just stepping into the sukkah is a mitzvah. I hope that clarifies. I'm sorry if I'm fast-winded or slow-talking or tongue-twisted. Other questions?
Any other questions, Kim?
Kim?
No, I don't see any. Just a couple of comments from friends that they're missing being able to be with you, Andy, particularly missing the food spirit,
Hi.
which I can attest to. And someone has a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Did someone have a question that unmuted their mic? I guess not.
So we have our cookbook with a lot of the recipes. We have the blog and the newsletter you should sign up for, where we share a lot of the ideas and the blessings. We're going to do a recording of this, and we've been sharing a lot of the content out there. It's been a gift for me to be able to share with so many people. We started this with Passover, our first virtual celebration, and it was incredible. We had such great feedback from everyone. And to me, it's about making virtual personal, and this is a moment. And each time if we connect with a loved one, and as we say, we want to be able to stimulate the mind, touch the heart, and uplift the soul to make Jewish home holidays magical, meaningful, and memorable in order to have moments that have meaning and last and linger. And the way that we always do it, and I'm out here every night, and it's going to be loud, is we do, hold on. We always like to finish off. Wait a minute. Give me a second.